There is a version of you that does not shake when life becomes loud. A version that does not fold under pressure. A version that listens to chaos and hears nothing but opportunity. But right now, that version is imprisoned inside your mind, buried beneath noise, distraction, and a lifetime of internal chaos. In the frozen monasteries of northern Greece, the ice monk teaches a truth most people are terrified to face. If you cannot silence your mind, you cannot command your life. This is the forbidden technique, the silent discipline that ancient warriors used to control their impulses, their emotions, their fear, their entire inner world. And today, you will learn it. He wakes up before dawn, not by choice, but because his thoughts drag him out of sleep again. His mind is running before his feet touch the ground. Regrets, conversations he wishes went differently, tasks he hasn't completed, scenarios that don't exist, and a constant undertone of pressure he can't explain. He checks his phone, emails he wasn't ready for, messages demanding attention, news designed to terrify him, images designed to distract him. Before brushing his teeth, he's already exhausted, not by the world, but by the storm inside his skull. Throughout the day, he tries to focus, but his mind jumps from thought to thought like a frightened animal. He promises himself he'll start fresh tomorrow, but he said the same thing yesterday, and the day before that. He wonders, why can't I focus anymore? Why can't I control what I think? Why does the smallest pressure break me? But in ancient northern Greece, they saw this differently. They believed, a man is not destroyed by hardship, but by the thoughts he allows to command him. To them, mental chaos was not natural. It was a sign of an untrained warrior. Taoist monks shared this belief. They taught that the mind is like a river. When allowed to flow wild, it floods everything. But when guided, it becomes a source of power. The modern man thinks his suffering is personal, but the ancients knew. Your struggles begin in the mind you refuse to train. This is the awakening. In the mountain monasteries of northern Greece, where winter cuts through stone and time slows beneath layers of frost, the ice monk begins his training not with motion, but with immobility. He sits cross-legged on cold rock, snow drifting around him, breath visible in the frozen air. No fire, no comfort, no distraction. Why? Because he follows an ancient rule. A warrior who cannot face himself in stillness will collapse in motion. The Greeks called this discipline hesychia, not mere silence, but the mastery of internal quiet. A state where the world may roar, but the mind remains untouched. Taoists called it wuxin, the no-mind, a state where thoughts lose their control over you. The ice monk merges them into a single idea. Control is born in the space between thoughts. This is the principle that breaks modern understanding. People today believe mental control comes from affirmations, motivation, or positive thinking. But the ancients believed control came from removing noise, not adding more. The ice monk teaches, silence is not the absence of sound. It is the absence of inner conflict. Silence is a weapon. Silence is clarity. Silence is strength. And the warrior who commands silence commands himself. Sit alone in a quiet room with no phone, no noise, no stimulation, and watch what happens. Your mind rebels. You suddenly feel restless. Your knee bounces. Your breath quickens. Your thoughts multiply. Your discomfort rises. This is the moment the internal war begins. Because silence forces you to face the parts of yourself you've avoided for years. Ancient Greek warriors described this as meeting the untrained beast within. A mind that resists discipline. A mind that worships distraction. A mind that fears truth. Taoist monks described it differently. They said the mind contains many voices, anxious ones, angry ones, impulsive ones, and silence exposes which voice has been ruling your life. Modern psychology confirms this. Your brain is addicted to stimulation. It avoids silence because silence reveals your mental weaknesses. This is why you can scroll for hours without effort. But sitting still for 1 minute feels unbearable. Your mind is not tired, it is untrained. And so the ice monk enters silence like a warrior entering battle. He looks directly at his fear, his impulses, his thoughts without running. He teaches. Most men lose because they cannot stay with themselves long enough to win. You are not fighting the world. You are fighting the part of you that breaks under silence. This is where the technique begins. Here is the uncomfortable, brutally honest truth. You cannot control your mind through motivation. You cannot control it through willpower. You cannot control it through wishing. Control comes through a single path: silent discipline. Daily, deliberate, unbroken. The ice monk's method is deceptively simple. He sits completely still. He breathes slowly. He does not fight thoughts. He does not escape them. He allows them to rise and fall without reaction. Eventually, the mind becomes exhausted from performing and begins to obey. This is the silent technique, not meditation for comfort, but stillness for control. Why does the modern mind resist this so violently? Because silence forces you to confront your lack of discipline, your untrained impulsiveness, your emotional reactivity, your excuses, your unfulfilled potential, your hidden fears, your identity lies. Silence is a mirror, and most people cannot bear to look at themselves. But the ice monk embraces it, because he knows. A man who seeks truth becomes powerful. A man who avoids it becomes weak. Silence feels painful at first, but eventually becomes power. The ice monk teaches that silence is not an event, it is a rhythm. You cannot practice stillness once and expect mastery. You cannot practice silence occasionally and expect obedience from your mind. Silence must be woven into your day, like thread through cloth. Small moments of internal stillness, constantly, repeatedly, relentlessly. He calls this the continuity of stillness, like sharpening a blade daily, not letting it dull. He practices silence. Before he eats, before he speaks, before he trains, before he reacts, before he decides, before he judges, before he sleeps, every pause becomes a ritual of control. Modern neuroscience explains why this works. Silence activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for self-control, decision-making, emotional regulation, long-term thinking, discipline. Every moment of silent awareness strengthens your ability to command your impulses. The mind becomes trained, like a warrior conditioned for battle. Eventually, even under stress, your mind defaults to clarity. This is the difference between the average man and the ice monk. The average man waits for life to calm down before calming his mind. The ice monk calms his mind first, and then enters life with advantage. The ancients had a concept far more powerful than modern productivity hacks: preparation of identity before contact with difficulty. Greek warriors didn't sharpen their blades during the battle. They sharpened them long before. Taoist monks didn't prepare for temptation when it appeared. They recited their codes hours earlier. The ice monk practices this through pre-solution. He makes decisions before the problem arises. He pre-decides. If someone insults me, I will not react immediately. If I feel anxious, I will slow my breath by half. If I'm overwhelmed, I will sit in silence before taking action. If temptation appears, I will not negotiate with it. If the world becomes loud, I will become quieter. By pre-deciding your response, you remove the chaos of choice. Modern examples. Before a stressful meeting, sit in silence for 20 seconds. Before checking your phone, breathe once with awareness. Before an argument, observe your emotions without obeying them. Before a craving, remind yourself who you refuse to become. Before a big decision, Let silence break the illusion of urgency. Ancient examples: Greek warriors reciting oaths before leaving their homes, Taoist monks chanting before descending into busy markets, northern ascetics freezing themselves in the winter wind to strengthen the inner flame. The principle is the same. Prepare the mind before the world attacks it. This is how you become unshakable. Transformation is not dramatic. It arrives slowly, like sunrise over frozen mountains. But one day, something inside you shifts. Your thoughts move slower. Your emotions feel lighter. Your impulses hold less power. Silence no longer feels threatening. It feels like home. You become the observer, not the prisoner. Pressure no longer breaks you. Noise no longer consumes you. Chaos no longer pulls you off center. You become someone rare, someone dangerous, someone calm in a world addicted to panic, someone disciplined in a world drowning in impulse, someone self-governed in a world ruled by noise. This is the final identity, the one the ice monk symbolizes. A human being who is stronger in silence than others are in comfort. A man who commands his mind commands his fate. This is the silent technique, and those who master it become unstoppable in a way the modern world cannot understand. If this philosophy resonates with you, subscribe for more lessons from the ice monk and the ancient path of northern Greece here on Endure and Flow.